Okay, hello, how are you? Thanks for coming back again. Today we've got another little video for you. I'm going to be sitting here in the background without disturbing you. I'm actually speaking on my phone, as you can see. This is my little workspace here, and I'm quite happy. I think I get a better video from my phone for some reason. Anyway, guys, I'm going to be talking to you. I'm going to put myself off. I'm going to be talking you through the video again, a new test route, so let's have something to look out for. Now, the heading of this particular video is, do I really need to know the test routes? Well, let's have a little look and see what you think by the end of this video. However, I'll give you the basic answer is, well, actually no. If you've got sufficient experience and good observations, you should be able to drive anywhere, of course. However, that's not how it is. When you're on a driving test, the nerves, if you don't know the route, you'll be paying more attention to what's around you to see if you don't miss anything, and that actually causes you to miss other things. So let's have a look at that, guys, and we'll move off from here. This is an actual test again, the cam footage, and we're just going to talk you through this little route. It's very important to those people who have got tests in the Edinburgh Curry Test Centre area. So it's very important that you see this one. Now, if you're from anywhere in the UK, of course, or anywhere in the world coming to the UK for a driving test, then it's important that you learn how to do their planning and include routines in your driving. This is quite a common little area that we're in just now. We're just left the test centre, of course. We're taking a left turn in to Crosslet Road. Now, the thing is I don't always give you the names of the roads that we're going into. I don't really think that's much important, but some people did say to me it might be a good idea because they can follow me using maybe like some online maps that you could use, and it helps them plan when they're doing some private practice in the area. So in this particular case, I'll try and see if I can remember to give you the names of the roads when we go into them, but I can't guarantee because I'm getting old now and I'm beginning to forget things. The only thing I can do in my life is drive. Okay, guys, so we're going to be moving off here shortly. Make sure you check your blind spot. Make sure you give a signal if it's necessary, and then you can proceed ahead. We'll be told at the end of this road to turn right. Now, I'm going to be speaking in the background. If you don't like it, sure, you can let me know in the comments. Sometimes I have to ad-lib and just, I don't like a silence, you see. We've got the white lines here. See the white lines? See the first white line, we're just passing it, the second white line, the third white line, fourth white line coming up. When I'm teaching students, I use these lines, and what I usually get them to do is do your mirrors and signal before the first white line. Yeah, bring your speed down, get your position as you're going through that, and at the third white line, just drop your clutch, put it into first gear, and you can roll to the first white line. And it's when you have little reference points like that, you can actually adapt it and try it, and when you get better you eventually adapt to your own technique, but it does help you maintain the routine. So it becomes habitual, and then of course the next thing, you're doing it without really thinking, and when you're on a test, when you're very nervous, then usually the habits kick in, yeah, because good habits come in just as well as bad habits. And if you've already got experience and then you try to drive to test standard, you know how the bad habits can destroy your test, in fact, because you're nervous. So what comes natural to you comes in. So of course this isn't the new 30 mile an hour restriction. I know it's a poor picture, guys, but I do apologise. It's again, I've got a very expensive camera, but for some reason the settings, I'm struggling with the settings, to be honest. This used to be a 40 mile an hour double bend here. It also says at the bottom of that adverse camber. Again, just to remind you what that means, it means that the road is sloping away in the opposite direction that you're steering. So it's sloping to the left while steering right, for instance. And this happens just along here, excuse me. So you can see the road's kind of sloping from left to right and yet steering left. So you've got to be very, very careful during adverse weather conditions, snow and ice, because you can slide and you can slip. So you've got to be very careful. So we're going down towards Heriot-Watt University, and if you know the route, you would probably keep right to go ahead. If you don't know the route, you'll do what you normally do, and is keep left to go ahead. Now we're actually in Rickett and Mains Road at the moment, but you'll notice that right at the very end, right here, it now tells you not to use the left lane. Now normally, I have to say guys, the examiners are usually pretty good, and they usually give you a wee heads up about that on your approach. So they might tell you, remember to keep right to go ahead here, because the instructions there are just far too late. Again, coming up to the next roundabout, which is a small park and ride roundabout, and this is again another right hand lane to go ahead, although you can see in front of us we've got a bit of a problem, so we need to check our mirror and hold back to this. Yeah, so we've got to be very careful, especially with that truck, because someone can come round that roundabout. So it's good observations. Even a signal would be good, because something flashing could alert a vehicle, just like you've seen that van passing. Keeping right here, of course. So you're checking interior and left mirror. Of course you're signalling left to exit. And again here, if you didn't know the route, you'd be away over to the left-hand side of the white line, but it really doesn't go anywhere, does it? It says joining this. So we're heading for Edinburgh. This is Hermiston Roundabout, or Junction, call it what you like. It's traffic lights approach, and so you're governed by traffic lights. So therefore, you in this particular direction, you don't have to go through the rigmarole of deciding whether it's safe to go or not. So you'll have done your mirrors, of course, and give a signal to the right. Look down on the road. I've done this 100 times with people. Swing out towards the second exit now, and it will take you around to the third exit. Now, how many people would normally just stay on the right hand side and keep in that inside lane, check your mirrors and signal left? Now, if you did that, guys, look where you'd go. You'd go way out on that route. The first lane splits into two, and of course you would be away over there in lane 3. We're in lane 1 at the moment, using the bus lane because there's sufficient time. So again, there's another situation, what people would normally do if they didn't know the route at all. Yeah, you'd end up struggling, and then you'd have to come all the way back again. And that just means that you have to do mirrors and signal and move back. Well, it might be okay for you, and it might be okay, but like I say, you're giving yourself an awful lot to do, and the chances are you might make a mistake. So we're following the road ahead here at Calder Junction, and we keep left to do so. Lane 1 takes us right through there. We've got the end of the bus lane here, and the little sign that's behind that is broken off, so it's disappeared completely, and it normally told us what lane to get into. The next sign tells you we're heading for Edinburgh West. We're now on the A71, heading east. If you look closely on the ground, you'll see there's little dashes, little white dashes. You need to keep well left of these. And you've passed exit 1, so you'll now do your interior left mirror, and you would signal left. 30 mile an hour. Continuing on, the speed's never changed, guys, since I should say a way back, a couple of miles away back, up by near the 20 mile an hour. So there's not been a change of speed, so we're still 30. This all used to be 40 mile an hour at one time. So we're now proceeding towards Bankhead Roundabout. And I've always said to students, look, when you're approaching, especially when on a carriageway, when you're approaching big roundabouts, where you see the sign for the roundabouts where you're going to start your routine. So when you see the sign, get your mirrors in there, signal if necessary, whether you're going right or left, Obviously, if you're just going ahead, you don't need to bother signalling. And then you control your speed and your position as you're approaching. So there's a sign. You get your mirrors in here, signal if necessary, and of course ease off the gas pedal and start bringing your speed down. You don't need to change gear right away. Just get your speed down. You can see that we're going into the centre lane. A bit of wobble there. I thought maybe the student maybe didn't realise that lane changed there, but it's actually not changing. It's just that a new lane arrived on the left. You can always rewind back and have a look at that yourself. But yeah, you can see that the white lines there went to the centre. So when we're coming off, we have a wee look in our mirrors, make sure the signal's cancelled, and you're continuing ahead. If you look far enough ahead, you might see the lights changing to red. Again, whenever you see anything like that, check your mirror before you slow down. And hold back a bit from the bus, because you don't know whether the bus is going to stop in front of you or where the bus stop is. I mean, personally, I know the route, so I know that the bus is going to clear the lane and go into its own little space. But if you didn't know the route, the chances are you might check your right mirror, signal right, and try and get over and past the bus. As long as you do your mirrors and signal, guys, it's not the end of the world. But we know, because we know the route, that the bus is going to disappear, so we're happy, just like it's done. We've been informed at the roundabout ahead to turn right, so we have to check our mirrors and signal and move over. Now this is a bit unusual because this is a new system or a new test route that's just appeared. It's actually just they've brought back a really old test route that was here years and years ago when the test centre was at Parkhead, and we're turning right here, third exit. So you've done your mirrors and your signal, you're looking to see what's coming from the right hand side, and the student's quite nicely popped into the roundabout there. Still 30 mile an hour because there's no change, so we're still looking out for that. Interior and left mirror, and check nobody's there, signal left. Entering into the new road, so you'll be looking ahead to see what there's there, and you might just miss a sign like this at the very beginning, although there will be repeaters further down the road for you. But not all the roads have got the repeaters. Again, if you know the route, you don't have to worry about stuff like that at all. But if you don't know the route, you'll be hunting with your eyes to see if where the signs are and when do the signs finish and when does the new sign start. We're in Sighthill Avenue at the moment. It's the name of this street, and at the end of the road we're turning left, and that'll take us into Parkhead Drive. And we're still 20 mile an hour. A car in front, so you need to hold back, check your mirrors and see if it's safe to overtake. Looking good. Get well out to the right hand side this time so that people can see you. And always keep an eye on your left mirror so that you can get back again. So in this situation, I would look up as far as my eyes can see to see if I can make a decision and make the right decision where to come in if I need to. So you can see that the student here has been told to turn, actually pull up on the left here. They were pulling up on the left. Now that means that if somebody's behind us, they might be wondering what we're doing, so we'd have to keep the signal on. So definitely needed to signal there. So there's a couple of cars passing. Yeah, because if you didn't signal in situations like that, cars might hold back behind you thinking you're holding back for something. So we're still continuing on. We're in Parkhead Drive still. Cars coming ahead. People texting me. This is all good stuff. There you go. There we are. Text back. Yes. Again, guys, I'm just ad-libbing. I'm not editing this. I'm just talking as I am. And see what we've done. I did a little bit editing along here because it can be a bit confusing to people, this one. So we've done our mirrors, and again we've moved out to the right, and just look ahead here and see what you can see. So we have to check in mirrors and hold back, and you can see there's a 30 mile an hour sign. I did a couple of zoom in for you. Here we are. You can see the 30, but behind it there's a 20, and it looks like that 20 is round the corner. Yeah, that one. It looks like it's round the corner. Now, you've been told to turn left, so now you would signal left. And now you would think, maybe you would think that this is now 20. Now, I thought maybe my student thought that, because if you look at the speed, the student hangs around about 20 to 23 mile an hour. Actually, the speed's still 30. Yeah, we came off a 20. The first sign was a 30, and we went round the corner. That 20 applied to the road that's on your left-hand side there. So we should really be 30 mile an hour right here, but the student's only going along there at 23 mile an hour, 22. And to me, that is a progress fault. Even down to 19 at this point, there's nothing in front of us. Why we're slowing down to 18 miles per hour, I do not know. But anyway, we're coming. There's the 20 sign in front of you now. So again, yep, when they've got the roundabout sign there as well. So you've been informed to turn right at the roundabout. Now this roundabout, if you look closely to the left, you'll see exit 1 is on the left, and on the right, exit 2. Yeah, for Slateford. Okay, so you would check your mirrors and signal right. Of course we would. So we'll just let this get away. I've held this on a bit longer because I did try to explain there is actually another exit that's not shown on that sign. So you're thinking exit 2, so you checked your mirrors, you're signalled right. You can see you're passing exit 1, and you can see there's another exit there on the left hand side. Now, some people might go down that road thinking it's exit 2, but actually exit 2 is right. So it is this one here. So because exit 2 is not shown in the sign previous, then we have to disregard the exit that's actually on the roundabout until, well, the powers that be have a look at these things and get them properly signposted. Now remember, we were back to 20 just before we went to that roundabout. So this is Longstone Road, and it's 20 miles an hour, guys. And you can see the students doing 18, 17, 18. It's not too bad, but I think already there's a progress fault back there. Yeah, just from my observations. I would certainly give it. That's the way I am. Anyway, there's a car away in front there doing a nice big overtake. I don't know what speed they did that at, but like I say, this is a 20 mile an hour restriction. And we've been told to pop along here and take the next exit for Sainsbury's, which is on the left hand side up at the traffic lights. Just watching out for that van on the left. That makes me check my mirrors right away. Whenever something's happening, even that flashing light you can see in the distance, I check my mirror. My eyes always go up to see what's happening. And before I'm braking, my eyes are always going up just to see what's happening. So we'll be going down to the left hand side. There we go. Don't get too close. Remember, keep yourself. You should be able to see the tyres of the vehicle in front touching the road. If you lose the road, too close. Now, it's pretty obvious to students now here in this particular route that they're going to be asked to do a bay park. In this particular case, we've been asked to draw forward into a bay. But of course they could ask you to reverse into a bay. Now, it means that you can take a bay of your choice. There's not any specific bay, but they'll just tell you what direction to go into the bay, either forward or reverse. But you can pick whatever bay you like. In this case, we're going to just keep following the road, and it takes you naturally around into the car park here. Now, because it's an indoor car park, it can be quite dark. You need to make sure your eyes become accustomed. Just give your eyes a few seconds to get accustomed to the light conditions. It's normally darker than this. So let's have a wee look and see what you think of this. Because see how the student moves over to the right hand lane here. Now we're going into the bay on a right hand, in a forward direction. I thought he was going to turn left into a bay there, But no, the student went into the right-hand lane, waited, and then tried to get into the bay on the right-hand side. Now, you're not going to get into a bay first time because you don't have the manoeuvrability being so close to the bays. The student should have just turned right in the lane on the left lane. That's the reason why the students had to reverse back, because his position was too far forward because he didn't have the manoeuvrability. Yeah, so definitely probably a fault in control there. And like I say, minor fault, but as long as he stopped, and as long as you stop with all your wheels inside the bay, everything is fine. So let's get back out of the car park here and bring yourself back in a straight line. Make sure you do all around observations. Use the windows. Don't always use mirrors. Check the mirrors, yes, but use the windows when you're reversing. Look over your shoulder as best you can. And even here, check your both shoulders before moving off. Car parks, we use the word out, over, under and through. Over vehicles, under vehicles and through vehicles. Okay, so we'll get out of the car park now and just follow in the lane, taking us up to the traffic lights, and we'll be taking a left turn. Now, if you've got your test in this area, it's worthwhile watching what you have to do if you're asked to turn right at the traffic lights, because you can definitely get caught out here. As you're coming around the corner, if you were asked to turn right, just before that car and just where that Costco, what's it called again? Costa Coffee cup. You see the arrow taking you into the middle? You would normally go into that middle lane and go round the outside there and turning right. But in this case, of course, we're asked to turn left, so we're quite happy. So you would obviously have your mirrors and you would have your signal in to turn left. Okay, so now we're going to follow the road ahead here, and as normal you would think, oh well, I'll just use the bus lane, just like the student thought. However, look, what does it say in yellow? 24-hour bus lane in operation 7 days a week. That means that you've got to avoid this bus lane 24/7. The student went into the bus lane. That must be a fail. Got to be a fail. So the students managed to move out. Now then, did the examiner ask the student to move out, or did the student realise themselves and then move out on their own? Well, you'll just have to wait and see at the end of the video, because if the examiner asked them to move out, that's a fail, of course. Let's have a look at this situation here. We can't use the left lane because we've been asked to go left. We can't use that bus lane, so that's fine. It's 24 hours, so we need to use the lane we're in. It's 30 miles from this point, so we're going to the end of the road, and I'm now using my camera to look down to the left. I did this later on another time of the day, that's why it's brighter, but yeah. So now we're back to the dashcam footage of the test. Now that's a normal bus lane, so when we get round the corner we can use that bus lane. Now the student's probably been asked not to use the bus lane because there's a 20 on the left there as well. Yep. So you see how confusing things can be. If you're not prepared for all these signs to happen every 20 metres, the chances are you can easily make a mistake. But if you know the area and know the route, you would never have went into that bus lane in the first place. Now the student's are way down to like 5 miles an hour at this point, thinking he was turning right for the car park, but the examiner did say to the student, no, we're going up to the traffic lights and turning right there. I know that because I spoke to the student after it. So what's the speed here? Well, we're still 20 miles an hour. That was our last instruction. Now, look into the new road. You'll see a sign on the lamppost there, just where that pedestrian with the yellow vest is walking, right past the sign. Easy to miss them. Easy to miss them. And yet they're massive. They're quite big signs, you know. You really have got to have good observations to drive. Or should I say, you've got to have good observations to pass a driving test. And that's one of my biggest things, and my students will tell you that. It's all about observations and planning. So your speed now is 30 miles per hour. as you can see. So this is Craiglot. So we've came down from Longstone Road. We then turned left through Ingalls Green Road, turned left into the A720, and we went along to the traffic lights, and we've now turned right up into Craiglocker Avenue, 30 mile an hour as we know, and we're going to head up here. However, there's nothing really much in front of the student here, and a wee bit concerned against the speed again, because we're only doing like 22 miles an hour here. Down to 20 again. Okay, so anyway, let's proceed ahead. Down to 14 mile an hour now. See, I have my concern about progress here. There is some kids walking across the road right enough. Okay. Right then. Okay, so we're turning right into Craiglocker Road, and residential road. I'm expecting to get told to stop on the left at some point, perhaps even do a parallel park or something like that. But the student did a bay park, so that maybe saved that problem. So, but normally get told to pull up when I say place on the left. In fact, that's exactly what's happening. So remember to check your mirrors, if necessary signal, and pull up in a safe place, keeping clear of driveways on the left and any other pathways or dropped curbs that might be a pedestrian walkway. And of course, when asked to move off again, make sure you get a good blind spot check and signal where necessary. And we'll be driving up to the end of Craiglocker Road. Yeah. So just hold them back here, that's quite good. As long as you check your mirrors, guys, and hold back, it's always best, and check your interior and right mirror too. So at the crossroads we're going ahead. Now look here, there is no room for cars to come in. They would be using our lane, so because we're going, I would keep well over to the left, but you notice that the student didn't do that. Now if a car came round here or up the road, wanting to come into the road that we're leaving from, they would have had to stop. If that car was turning, you can see it would have not been able to get into the road because we were blocking their entrance. So to me, again, that would be a plan and observation issue there, for sure. We'll need to wait and see again what's going to happen at the end of the test and see what's said. And we can always have a wee chat about it. Now, we're still in Craiglocker Road, and we're going round and we'll be turning right into Elliot Place. So, of course, you have to make sure that you check your interior and right mirror, give a signal, and move into Elliot Place here on the right hand side. Car parked there, so again, hold back, check to see if it's safe. Okay, I would have probably held back a little bit more. I wouldn't have needed, you know, in situations like that, if you're looking up the road that you're going into, you can actually cut the corner because of that vehicle's position. It's okay what the student done there, but just to let you know that you can actually do that, provided you've made sufficient observations for that. At the end of the road, we're turning right. You can see the speed change, and we're 30 mile an hour heading right into Collington Road. So 30 mile an hour into Collington Road. And actually that's sort of like the turn back point. It's the furthest away from the test centre we'll be, and we'll end up heading back now towards the test centre. So the rest of the route is basically heading back towards the test centre. So 23 mile an hour, it's a 30 clear way here. There's nothing again in front of the student, and speeds 24, 25. Now we're up a wee bit better. This time we're up to 27, so that's better. However, I would still encourage you to get to the speed of the road. Yeah, get to the speed of the road. It's extremely important, because if there's anybody behind you even at 25 where we are now, you could annoy somebody behind you and force them to start trying their best to try and get past you. Yeah, so we're now heading down towards Collington Village, and we know that in advance we would know that the speed does actually drop to 20 mile an hour. You'll notice the signs just at the wall. And the one that you just passed on the left wasn't actually, that was when lights flash. So our 20 signs are just along here and on either side of the road. There you can see just ahead here on either side of the road now. See on the right and left now, there's the 20 signs. So we check our mirrors, we're down. We have to keep right here because the road splits here. So we have to bear right and go down into the village. Yeah. And yeah, this is the little village area. And as the road comes round here, I think actually it's still it is in fact, it's the B701 still we're on. And 20 mile an hour, be really strict with yourself with speeds, guys. I can't highlight that enough, to be honest. And be careful when you're accelerating out of 20 mile an hour areas that you don't go above the speed until you've actually gone past the next sign. So as we're going, this is a good example actually, because as we go around the corner, students sometimes see the 30 sign in advance and they start accelerating hard, and that's the 30 mile an hour sign just there, and a double bend. Again, I can understand the camera footage is just a little bit, it's certainly not as good as the students looking at. We're a little bit darker, and because I'm getting near trees, I'm getting a bit pixelation here, which is not a good thing, so I'll need to get this fixed. So I'll need to get the settings done. But anyway, guys, at the moment we're in Gillespie Road, okay, 30 mile an hour up to the end of the road, and we'll see where we're going from there. Takes us up to the crossroads. We call it Gillespie Crossroads actually, and we'll see what we're doing from here. Even I forget, I'm looking at the video the same as you are. The sign there is pretty clear, so we've got to be careful that the left lane only goes left on this particular, so we are going left, so we're in the left lane, so make sure you've done your mirrors and signal approaching this junction. There's the arrow to go, and I'm glad students seen that. Good. 10:41 in the morning. We'll be up at the test centre in about 8 minutes even. Can you still remember the speed, guys? What was the last speed that we had? Now if you knew the route, you would know right away what speed it is. Some people were thinking, I don't know, what was the last sign that you passed? It was a 30, wasn't it? Was there another one at the junction? Can't remember now. Look at the students here, we're doing 27, so at least we're making reasonable progress. My feeling is that, 27 mile an hour to me is not good enough. You're on the borderline. Get yourself to 30. Another 3 mile an hour can make a difference to you. Now then, looking at the cars ahead, well, we've been told to stop on the left here, so that's another stopping point. And we're in the Lanark Road now, guys. This is the Lanark Road heading up towards the test centre again. Again, it's quite busy, so students holding back there, waiting to get a clear way. Remember, I can't highlight enough. Over your shoulder, check your right shoulder, give a signal where necessary, and move off. That's good. Now, on the Lanark Road, like any other road, you're looking for hazards. You're just using your mirror signal manoeuvre routine, and whenever you see anything that's going to make you change speed or direction, you get on your mirrors for it, and if necessary, you can give a signal. On your mirrors now, slow down for the bus, or the truck, sorry. Yeah, check to see you've got sufficient room to get through. If not, hold back. They always say, if you don't know, don't go. So we've got another 5 minutes to go. Students are texting me. We're coming through Juniper Green now. This is still the Lanark Road, of course, but it starts to get a bit busy, and it is an active area. There's no doubt about that. There's a lot of shops and a lot of residents and pedestrians around. Car interior mirror off the gas, holding back again, and we're off again. Okay, so what I'll do at the end of the test, I'll once we get into the car park, I'll give you a brief of what I know already about the test, and we can have a wee chat about some of the things I've discussed. It may be a bit unfair because I'm looking at the video here and knowing what the result is, and knowing also in advance what to tell you. So, you know, I've got call it an unfair advantage, but I need to do this so that I can explain and get the timing right, everything. And yeah, so we're still heading up the road. Yeah, got the Sainsbury's garage on the left hand side, just here. Check your mirror for crossings as you're approaching them well in advance. You might think that the examiner doesn't see you do that, but you'd be surprised at how sharp and how much interest they're paying on your eyes. They're playing on your eyes. They're watching you all the time, even when because they use their peripheral vision to see you. We'll be taking the next road on the right. That takes us down into Bryce Road. So you'd be checking your interior and right mirror about now. And you can also signal just about now, but the actual turning just on the bend there. And we're looking ahead, we can see the van. So get yourself up, but don't go past the centre of the new road, because your position, you might have trouble getting your position and going in. So there's another car moving. Okay, we flash of the lights there. 20 mile an hour there, see that? Looking again for anything coming towards us, because there's a vehicle there, so decide what we're going to do. Is there time to come in, let that vehicle past, or do we check our mirrors and carry on? So I would hold back here. See, I think that was a fault there, because you ended up too close to that vehicle coming towards us, and I think you should have held back there. It's not that easy when you're looking through the dash cam as well, because spatial awareness might be slightly different from what you can see in the car. Anyway, we're coming down towards the test centre now. Bryce Road, remember. Vehicle in front, so check your interior and right mirror, and we're moving over to the right hand side. I don't know whether the student's going to be turning right or taking the second. So this is the first one on the right that you can see in front of you. So the student's taking the second one. Okay, so it would be mirrors and signal now, of course. Getting ready to turn right. Test centre's right in front of you, that white shop that you can see at the end. Turning right in here. Looking ahead. Good observations there, because that vehicle, was much further back. Checking mirrors here, getting to see. Don't know what that vehicle further up's doing. So that's good. Happy with observations like that. Holding back like that's good. It's a busy little area. So remember looking both shoulders before moving away here. Cyclists could always be passing us. Checking your mirror, signalling into the car park here. There's a wee examiner standing right at the co-op there. A wee instructor, I should say. Guess who? And okay, so standing here and finished. Okay, so that's the end of that test route, guys. Okay, so here we are. Now, the result of the test, guys, was a fail. And the reason for the fail was one serious fault for failing to respond to road signs and markings, and that is exactly when the student went through the 24-hour bus lane. Now then, the student said that they didn't really see the sign at all, to be honest. However, most students who are doing tests in that area know the route and they know not to go in there. So if that student really knew the route well, would they have went in there? No chance. And would have passed? Yes. So there's a good example. The other faults were for progress, like we discussed. There was a few progress faults. There was a control fault, steering going into the parallel park. The bay park, forward bay park, remember? Moving into that right-hand side to start was a bit strange. Anyway, guys, so getting back to the headline, is it important to know a test route before you go on a test route? Well, I would say it is. Can you pass a test without knowing the route at all? Yes, you can. If you've got good experience and you've got a lot of good observations, then yes, you can get through it. That's going to depend on your experience. Anyway, I'm not going to talk too much, guys, about it. Why was that student not prepared better? Well, it's not so much they weren't prepared. I knew the student was safe, and that's why I took them for the test in the first place. However, the student had not had sufficient time to learn all the test routes, and the student was aware of this at the time. Because of this day and age of trying to get a driving test, the student had obviously got an early test date through one of the apps and managed to get a test within 4 or 5 days of phoning me. And I was unable to change it with another student because of the 10-day deadline. So we gave the student as many hours as they could in that short period of time to try and have them prepared. However, that was one particular route we didn't just go over. And yet we went into Sainsbury's in the other direction. Oh, as luck would have it. However, guys, the main thing is, do we really need to know the route? Well, that answer for me is not really, but it really helps. And I believe firmly that that student would have passed the test on this particular test had they known that particular area. Thanks for watching. Look out for the next video. Please subscribe, tell your friends, and I might get back to you again on some other future tests. So thanks very much. Take care.